Vague refers to something that is unclear or imprecise in its meaning or intention. Inconsistent, on the other hand, refers to something that does not remain the same or is not uniform in its behavior or quality.
Wait, hang on. All right. There we go.
Oh, man. It's Sunday, and we're recording on Sunday, so that means I have to do all this tonight.
We believe in you.
We trust you. You have this.
Yes, because Vaguely Inconsistent did not get it down this week at all. Too much 4th of July partying. Too much Comic-Conning. Sorry, FanExpoing.
FanExpoing, yes. We don't want to get sued.
Well, if you don't put the dash in it, I think you're okay. So if it's Comic Space Con, I think you're okay.
Now, I don't know, because it used to be Denver Comic Con without the dash, and they changed it and got sued, and now it's FanExpo.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was like, I don't know, 5 years ago, whatever.
There wasn't somebody new who took it over.
And that's the other side of that coin. It could have just been
it's Wizard
FanExpo.
World. Wizard World took it over because FanExpo used to be Wizard World.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, I knew that there were other Fan Expos before Denver, and it's just once Denver Comic Con said, F it, we're done, we're not going to deal with it, and Fan Expo said, okay, we'll do our own thing there.
Right.
So, either way, kudos to them. I mean, I was telling Duke earlier, it's gotten better every year, so they're only on, I mean, the 4th or 5th Fan Expo, and only the, 8th con total for Denver since 2013 or 2014. I can't remember when it started, but I think I went to the first one or the second one, and then going almost all of them. I think I may have missed 2 ever since they started, and I can definitely say it's gotten better every year.
I appreciate the fact that we have given the preview of the podcast in the very beginning, like, when they cut out like the little piece and they put it at the very beginning of the video, like we're already in the middle of having a conversation about it, and you're like, yeah, this is
vaguely inconsistent.
But we're actually having this conversation 45 minutes into the future. So, woo, science. How you guys doing?
Good. I'm just packing, dude. Everything. I hate moving. It's the worst. But I also don't want anybody else packing my stuff either. So.
Oh, 100%.
It's
no
cool.
way.
Like I'm going through. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I forgot about that. Oh, that needs to go on eBay.
Are you eBaying actively right
5 years ago? No, it'd be too much. Yeah,
you're putting it in the eBay box, so that way when you get done moving, because you know what'll happen is you'll get to your new house.
Oh, look at the little baby Thrawn.
Yeah,
you're gonna get to your house. You're gonna open up that box. You're gonna put that shit on the shelf, and then you're like, man, I thought I had more stuff to eBay.
Right.
Was that Thrawn part of your keep pile that you forgot you had, or part of the eBay box?
I have this whole bag full of Hallmark ornaments and stuff that I just never got around to selling.
Damn, dude.
So I have 2 Thrawns in there. One of them might be to keep, but he could be in another box that I'm keeping. So I don't know. So I won't be putting 2 up right away. I'll be putting 1 up for sure until I know what's what.
Yep, I had 3 of those, put 1 away instantly so I didn't accidentally sell my own.
Yep.
That listing of the Hallmark ornaments will be in the description, so if you're interested, feel free to reach out.
Right. Link to his eBay account and all his sales is below.
After Comic-Con, we'll put up mine and Lou's eBay list.
Yo,
there you go,
guys.
Supporting,
and then we should put links to the podcast in our eBay listings.
There you go.
Oh, I didn't think about that. That's a good one.
Support independent podcasting. Buy my shit.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
But yeah, so I'm like going through a whole bunch of stuff. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I forgot that came out, and then I found this bunch of Harley Quinn art that Lou got me from one Denver con. I'm like, oh, glad I have a casita now. I can put it up on the wall.
Or get the Walmart damn poster thing so you can put it all up and save your wall space.
But are they acid-free archival quality?
Well,
because otherwise I have to get like a binder.
Yeah, but I expect that's what you would get. I mean, if you're going to do it right. The other option is you frame everything to whatever degree that means, and you just rotate every 6 months or so. That could be fun too.
Also true.
It's Star Wars this quarter of the year. It's Harley this quarter of the year. TMNT this quarter. But whatever you want to do, but just rotate stuff. Like when I finally clean up my living room with all these Funko Pops, that's what I'm going to do. Like because that I have go 3D, so I can't show off everything. Mm-hmm. So I was like, you know what? Every half year, just move stuff around. It's like, oh, it's Tombstone up front now. Oh, now it's Jim and the Holograms up front, and now it's Mean Girls up front. Just rotate all that stuff. So it's like, I'll get to it eventually. No, I mean, I'm okay looking at it. It doesn't even have to be 6 months. I don't need to put a time frame on it. It's just, you know what?
Yep.
Stick looking at that. Rotate and go from there.
Yep.
You don't have like the clear plastic shelving to do like 3.
Well, they can stack on top of each other because every one of my Funko Pops is in a soft case.
Yeah.
0.5 millimeter, soft case. So stacking them is no big deal. It's just that the depth, because the bookcase, I'm not going to waste space, put nothing behind. So I just put all the Funko Pops in there. There's like, 600 of them. So I gotta use the space, or oh my god, this place is way worse than it is now. So, but yeah,
his girlfriend wouldn't come over anymore. She's like, you're weird.
Yeah, I'm tired of sleeping on a pile of Funkos every night.
Shit.
And you're like, honey, those are my trash Funkos. It's fine.
Look, get it right. The Funkos are expensive. They'd be on the bed. She'd be on the floor. She's
real though.
Come on now. I got that San Diego Comic-Con 2019 when that's worth about $1,200. Yeah, that thing is getting a pillow before she is. Let's be real.
And now Lou's coming to Comic-Con alone.
Okay, Jack, you need to post this after we're there.
But like, worth $1,200. I'm breaking up with you, and then Lou can't find his pop anymore.
I know, right?
Yeah, I know.
Where is my super?
It'll be in a paper bag, and she'll light it on fire, and you'll run outside and stomp on it. And she'll be like, "Got you!" Bam, I'm out. I'll be like, "Oh man,
nah." She knows better. She got it. Easy.
So we need to recap what happened when he came up to her house when she wrecked his car.
Yeah, that's true. Speaking of that, any updates on that, Lou?
No. I think I've narrowed it down to a Nissan Murano or a Ford Escape, though. So a lot of it is just timing. Like, I probably, honestly, would have bought a car this weekend if I wasn't at FanExpo Denver.
Yeah.
And then I've got plans next Saturday, a work event where I'm going to like a lake bash thing. Obviously, I ain't getting in the water, getting close to it. But I'll go anytime close to it. So that's then Saturday. So I've got obviously the work week, Monday through Friday, that event on Saturday, or I again try to get the car then. It's like, okay, how about the week after? Week after, I'm in a rental driving to Vegas. So it's like, the way it's going, it might not be to the first weekend of August before. Now, if I get some time later in middle of the week, whatever, I start an early work day at 6 a.m, be done late afternoon, early evening. Okay, I'll have time to go get something. But then I'm doing a lot of online looking to speed up the process.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I want to get something sooner rather than later because that truck of mine, I'm just waiting for it to just fall apart on the road.
Every day you're like, it's not going to start. It's not going to start. It's going to die.
Dude, for real. For real. Going back and forth, Denver's not that far. It's maybe it's a 20-mile drive back and forth to the convention center that I did these last 4 days. But the whole time it was like, come on, just make it these 4 days. And then like car ain't being driven for another 5 days. Like I'm not going anywhere. It's just going to sit there and chill. And until the Saturday event where I head up to Fort Collins, 50 miles away. So we'll see, but if I can sneak out, if I can get it sooner rather than later, I will. Still not driving it to San Diego if I get it before.
No,
right. Yeah.
But I'd like to be able to come back and have that already. But that's the other side too. When I come back, I have a 2 days off. I could always get it then. So yeah, that's.
But then also you could use 2 days to chill and unpack and look at your loot.
Honestly, yeah, it'll basically use. If all goes well, I'm back late Monday night, early Tuesday morning. I have Tuesday to relax, and then Wednesday I'm off also, and just try to go buy a car then. So, and then back to work Thursday, Friday. So I mean, that is the plan. Well, you know how it is. We will see how it plays out. We'll see what really happens. But if I don't get it before I go, then maybe that Wednesday that I'm back, I get it then. So
I was going to ask how far Denver was for you.
Yeah, it's. I don't remember the exact mileage, but I can tell you it took me no more than 25 minutes each way.
That's not bad. Yeah.
No, not at all. Shoot. Better than $200 a night for a hotel.
Right.
I think that's where I was at when all of us were going to Comic-Con together. Like, we were staying so far out. I was like, what's the point? Like, we might as well just drive from home every day. It's another half an hour? Like,
that's a 2-hour drive. Ain't nobody doing that.
But I'm saying we were doing an hour in at that point when we were going from Hotel Circle, like all the bullshit. Like,
no, it wasn't that bad, was it?
Mm-hmm. The last time that I came and hung out with you guys, we were in the car for a minute. Huh. And I was like, okay, we're now reaching the window. I think we need to have the conversation about just coming from home every day, because this is.
I don't remember that at all. Damn.
Yeah. So not the reason
that was a long time ago.
Yeah, a lot's happened since then. But
I only remember staying at Hotel Circle once. Jack, weren't we in the same area, same hotel area? That one time we did Mission Circle.
Oh no! I think the last time Duke came was when we all stayed at Motel 6.
Like way out.
That was a ways out.
Well, okay,
so
that's across the 8. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that's. I think that was my. Yeah, that was when. That was the last time it was cheap, because. I think we talked about it the next year, and it was like, they went from $79 to $229 or whatever for that particular weekend.
No, I remember. You're right. It was like we were getting away for. I think I remember my last bill at Motel 6 was like $337 for 5 days.
Yeah,
and then the following year it was like $780 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yes, we're not doing that. That's when Jack got the timeshare downtown.
Yeah,
and we did that instead. So. Good times.
Oh yeah,
good times.
But yeah, so Denver. I mean, I'll jump in real quick. Try to get through this quickly. FanExpo Denver, Denver Comic-Con, call it what you will. Had a great time. Started July 4th, so that Thursday went through today, Sunday. I went all 4 days. Actually had a blast. Got some autographs from Ashley Eckstein. Some Funko Pop signed her Universe Diamond Funko Pop, and then went over
sparkly.
To very sparkly. It's very pretty. Jack, you're going to appreciate that when you see it in person. And then the only other autograph I went and got was D. Bradley Baker from Celebration Anaheim in 2022. We went to the panel and got this 13x19 poster with this long road home, I think is what it was titled, and it had at that point, Crosshairs not in the picture, so the print had everybody but Crosshair, and I happened to have two of them on my person. So Jack wanted one, got his, and I was like, screw it, may as well do me too. So I got one too, and those were basically the only two autographs I got. But I got to see walking around, Priscilla Presley and
that's cool.
Brie Larson, Ella Purnell. I think it's Ella Purnell.
Ella, yeah.
The Clone Wars, James Arnold Taylor, blah blah blah. There was a bunch. I can tell you, some people look like they aged not too well. I'm not going to call anybody out. Some people was like, I will call you out, Elizabeth Berkley. Damn, girl, you got it going on. I don't care how old you are right now, but you look good still.
You're happy to do no sleep pills with. Crap, I can't remember her name for Saved by the Bell now. Damn it, Jesse. You're gonna do
I didn't watch the show, so I don't know. All I know is I was about to go find a used video store, find me a copy of Showgirls, and get that signed because damn, that would have been worth my time. But yes, the autograph hall was fairly busy. I would say the first couple days, Ashley Eckstein's line was huge. Jared, was it Padalecki?
Padalecki,
yeah.
Supernatural.
Whatever, Gilmore Girls.
No, Supernatural.
No, I watched Gilmore Girls. Leave Dean alone.
And I think season 5 of The Boys. So I think they already announced. They
want to bring him
back.
That. They want to bring him
in
to get him.
Well,
no, they're bringing him in
That's Jensen Ackles, though. That's not Jared.
Well, he's already been on the show, and everybody was like, "You got to have."
Oh, they're bringing
The
Jared.
Supernatural reunion.
And
Okay.
because of the showrunner of The Boys, I believe, was the same. He had a part in Supernatural as well. So
yeah, he ran Supernatural. Cool. Yeah.
So they were like, well, you got one half, let's get the other half, and then they made. And now that Jeffrey Dean Morgan's in this season, I saw some news article saying that they're bringing in Jared for season 5, but they did unspecified.
Wait. Okay, now back up and educate me. What does Jeffrey Dean Morgan have to do with Jared Padalecki?
He's their dad.
He's
in Supernatural.
the dad from Supernatural.
Oh, okay. That's what I don't understand. Okay, gotcha. That's why. So I guess Jared is the only missing piece of that puzzle. So
it needs to be a flashback back to Soldier Boy, way back in the day, and maybe that's when boy spoiler. Maybe that's when he died.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So autograph. Oh, who else had a long line? A lot of the anime, a lot of anime voice actors. So their lines were always crazy. Susan Sarandon and Gina Davis, they had long lines.
Yeah, I was going to ask. How was Thelma and Louise?
I
don't think they've ever shown up at a con.
And together at that, their photo op was ridiculous. Their lines were ridiculous. Obviously, Brie Larson's line was crazy.
Oh yeah, I think that's her first show ever too.
Her and Rosario Dawson, those two, they were next to each other. That was not smart. That was not smart to put those two next to each other because the lines, it was a cluster in that corner.
I don't understand how after decades of doing this, because I mean we're down to basically 3 or 4 convention planners
companies
in the world, I think, right? Like there used to be, everybody used to do their own, but now everybody's purchased out everybody else and that type of thing. There's it's like Reed Pop, FanExpo, Wizard World, and I think there's a 4th one. Those are kind of the kind of 4 or 5 big ones that run everything. I don't understand how they keep screwing things up like that. Like you think, oh guys, it's fine. We'll just put these 2 highly huge names right next to each other, and we'll have the 5 people who were, they did backup voices on a cartoon from 10 years ago. We'll put them on the other side, group them together, and no, you put them in the middle. Like then you break up your lines. You have a natural.
But I think what it is they want. Here's all the Star Wars guys. Here's the Star Trek guys. Here's the anime guys. I think that's how they group them together. And it's just
they certainly
gets messed up because
good call. They certainly did that here. They had the 4 Clone Wars together. Ashley, James, Matt, and Dee. You're right next to each other. Then across behind me from them would have been the Supernatural group. I don't remember Mark something. I guess he was in the show. I don't remember his last name, but Mark, Jared, and some other person. Again, I didn't watch the show, but you're right. They were clustered together. And what they did was not everybody was there all 4 days. Like Jared was only there Thursday, Friday. So once he left, Brie was only there on Saturday. So they put her in Jared's spot. And then Rosario as well there yesterday. So whatever reason, there was a gap next to that. It was like, I walked in just to check and see, to be nosy. And holy crap, it was like, that was not smart. It was fine at 9:45. When I went to a panel or whatever I did and came back at like after lunch, that was gross. It was bad. It was bad. So
yeah.
But the con itself had a blast. Walked up and down the aisles. I don't know, too many times. Probably several times per day, times 4 days. I only did Artist Alley probably 3 times total. Wasn't a whole lot I was looking for. There. But yeah, I mean, again, I can't say it enough that I'm impressed that they keep improving. I know they had a bunch of cancellations for the talent, but it is what it is, right? You can't control their schedules or their health.
Yeah.
So a lot of people complained about that, but it's like, dude, just roll with it. It is what it is.
Did you buy anything? Did you pick up any pop you were missing?
I did. I was actually missing a quill from the original Mandalorian Funko line. Because I got my last quill signed by Misty, who was the little actress in the costume. Obviously, the voice was Nick Nolte, I think.
Nolte, yeah.
But she was in the costume. And for my OCD, I could not have a signed one with my collection unless they're all signed. Because I'm not getting them all signed. I didn't have a clean one. So I was able to find a clean one there this weekend. So that was kind of cool. That was kind of one of the things I was looking for.
At a reasonable price.
Oh, yeah. It's probably taxes and shipping on eBay, $25. I got it for $25. So I had no complaints. I was like, yeah, I'd pay that. If I was willing to pay that on eBay for $25, I'm willing to pay it in person.
Well, but the in person, you're also able to look at it and absolutely know right away. Instead of, and you know what? If
shipping damage.
Yeah, if the box gets dinged up, that's on you for not packing it right in your bag. You know, not some random UPS guy who's, you know.
And there was zero chance it was going to be screwed up in my bag because I bring soft cases with me to these things. I had 3 brand new soft cases, so if I did find something, it could go immediately into a soft case and then in my backpack. So I was covered there, and only as long as I was going to make a car trip. Because I did also find, I'll have to send you guys a photo later, a print on plastic or whatever the material is. It's
acrylic.
Megatron fighting Optimus.
Nice.
I was going to say a pretty big poster size. I'm trying to look around the comparison, but I would think it's the typical 2 foot by 3 foot poster size. I haven't measured it yet, but I saw it on Friday, and I was like, I don't know, and I ignored it on Saturday, and then this morning, I was like, F it. I didn't spend all that much that I thought I was going to spend. If it's still there, I'm getting it because I think apparently there's only 2 of these things, and it was still there. $150, and I was like, "Yep, screw it, mine." And it's sitting in my bedroom on the bed right now until I can put it up. And the best part is, it's going in the bedroom. I already had a spot for it at the wall at the foot of my bed. That's where all my what is the series line? The Hasbro Transformers, the Studio Series 86, which is all the movie line. All those are on a bookshelf, basically a short bookshelf on that against that wall. The wall above it, there's nothing on it until later tonight.
until now.
It was meant to be.
So it was kind of cool again to see it on Friday, and then like I don't know, and then to stick within budget. Obviously, with SDCC coming up, I didn't want to overdo it, so sticking within budget. It was like, all right, screw it. I let me just walk in, and it's like, can you kill the tax if I pay cash? Like, yeah, no problem.
Nice.
So that was my probably my big purchase, and obviously the Quill Funko Pop, and then a bunch of little random like stickers here and there, magnets here and there, some specialty fudge chocolate was booths. There was like 6 of those booths there. I can't remember what it's called, but I mean it looked good, different flavors, so I grabbed some of that. And then other than that,
Packers.
What's that?
Packers fudge.
Oh, the best. Is there any other kind of fudge other than packing it? I mean, hello. Shout out to you, Green Bay. Let's see. Yeah, there is definitely a lot of art that I liked, just whether it be adult in nature. There was one booth that had stickers all over their posters because it was just.
Are you just selling Post-its?
Yeah,
dude, man, it was wild, but it looked good. It was good art. So I'll give him credit. I did look at, but I was like, where am I going to put it? I only have so much. I'm looking around now. I got a Magic the Gathering big old print over here, poster size, and over on this side, probably 5 Star Wars prints. So the living room, I don't have a lot of space. Other after this, it's really just the bedroom. And the bedroom, I don't have anything up. And now I was like with the Transformer stuff. So a lot of good looking pieces, just not put up. They had a lot of good things. I mean, your typical con stuff, obviously collectibles, toys, whatever, dice, all the nerdy gaming stuff that was there. I would say it was a good selection. It was one of these things where I think everybody had a chance to find something. Cosplay was wild. It was your typical Deadpools, your typiple whatever superhero stuff.
A lot of Post-it notes there too.
Yeah, dude, I wish. Some of them girls. Man, the only problem is I don't know how many of them were over 21. So
there you go.
But it was probably 70%, easily 70% were anime cosplay. Mm-hmm. It was wild to see so much anime, especially with Anime Expo. going on in California
Right.
the same
That's going
weekend.
on right now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going on the
Yeah.
same weekend. But dude, it was Anime Central, and a lot of the art was anime as well. So I understand it's a thing. Kudos to them. A lot of people found what they were looking for in that sense. You're going to find your typical stuff, superhero stuff, anime stuff, Star Wars.
Right.
I did not have a problem finding anything that I would be into. It's like, oh, cool. Although the Transformers stuff, especially art-wise, limited. I got my print that I got.
Right.
Other than that, walking the artist alley, not a whole heck. There was a metallic comic that somebody had, and the artist was there or whatever, and whatnot, but it wasn't my jam. So it was cool. I liked it. It's just not a lot for me in that sense.
Yeah.
If I wanted anything
You
Star
gotta wait
Wars,
till the Transformers 1 banger drops.
yeah, oh my god, that was annoying because they had the new trailer, the second trailer. Any panel you went to, they were cycling these trailers. And that was one of them. It was that and Wicked and Moana 2.
The live version or the animated?
No, the anime. Well, yeah, Moana 2 has to be the animation.
But they're also, are they redoing?
But I said Moana 2. It can't be a live action.
But they're coming out with a Moana live action, I thought.
Yeah, right.
Is it just a remake of the first one? Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So that's the problem with that. So it was like, so these same trailers would show. So I'd go watch a trailer, and 3 times I'd probably watch that damn Transformers trailer, and it's like, still not good. The second, third, fourth, fifth, and 10th time watching this trailer. Don't get me wrong. I'm curious enough that I'll spend $5 on it, but there's zero chance they get full money off of that movie. It does not look like it would be worth it. So,
well, and I mean, again, when you go to the movies a lot, there was a window of time at April and May where we were going to the movies like every other weekend. And you, at the end of that, you're just kind of like, okay, I get it. Like, I've seen this trailer now 6 times in the last 3 months, and the movie isn't even coming out until November, it's like,
I got sick of seeing that trailer too, although Wicked looks good.
I think I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to, I mean, I guess this is the way it's always been. And maybe just now that I'm older, it's standing out more, but just, the repetition doesn't make me excited to go see a movie. It makes me go, okay, like you spent way too much money on marketing,
Yeah, my problem with the movie, like obviously with movies these days, right? You get an assigned seat.
Mm-hmm.
You can show up 20 minutes after the movie scheduled time because you've got 20 minutes of commercials and preview. But I still haven't broken that habit to do that.
Yep.
I still show up at 7 for a 7 o'clock movie instead of 7:15 or 7:20.
Yeah.
It's just I'm not sure how much of that is. What if they skip trailers this time, or how much of it is, I don't want to miss a trailer this time, but whatever it is, I'm still showing up at 7 for a 7 o'clock movie.
Yeah.
I don't go early anymore. Like I won't do 6:45 rather. I won't go 15 minutes early, but I usually try to get there. I don't need to see Maria Menounos anymore. I'm good there. I don't need to play the race car game on my phone anymore. I'm good there.
By the way, real quick, Maria Menounos looks exactly the same as she did fucking 30 years ago when she was doing right?
Real.
Right?
Every time I see her, it's like, what are you and freaking Ant-Man doing? You guys, whatever yachts you were drinking, it is happening.
She's actually the beta version of Cortana. She is like computer simulation.
10 years from now, they're going to be like, bam, AI, gotcha, mic drop. And you're like, oh, man, you did. You got us, Hollywood.
So let's see. So the floor was great. All that. Oh, one of the cool things I liked about the floor. I was going to say that'll be next. Panels will be next. Wild Bill's soda. You can find them online if you're into that. Specialty sodas and whatnot. Cane sugar sodas. They have this deal where you buy this expensive ass cup, metal, whatever, Stein, call it what you will, different sizes, different costs.
It's a mule.
Basically a mule style cup. And the cheapest one was $33. The most expensive one was maybe $80. The $80 one was pretty nice. But here's the thing: you $7 a day. It's free refills all day for their soda. And if you bought a cup in the past, you could bring it back and just pay the $7. You don't have to buy a new cup every time. So I bought my
Nice.
cup. The one I used this weekend, I bought it in 2021 and have used it every year since. But I also have 2 more cups from 2013 and 2014. Because in 2014, I didn't know you could bring it back. I just wasn't paying attention to the spill.
Right.
And then in 2021, I just wanted a new cup. But absolutely worth it. $7 for a refill, and I have maybe a 32-ounce cup, whatever the hell size it is. They were selling bottled water on site for $7 a bottle. So, yeah. And they had 2 soda booths. They had root beer, sarsaparilla, orange cream, vanilla cream, strawberry cream, black cherry, rocket pop, which actually tasted like that damn rocket pop, surprisingly. And then they had basic sparkling water. Most people use the sparkling water to dilute the soda because it's kind of sweet. But kudos to them. They will be at San Diego Comic-Con this year. I may bring my cups with me in case anybody wants to use one for all-day refills. They're up in the sales pavilion. They were last year, and they're going to be there again this year in the sales pavilion. So totally worthwhile. But I got my money's worth for my $7 refills. I just paid all up front. I just paid on Thursday. Here's $28 plus tax. Got my refills all weekend. Absolutely worth it.
So
Panels,
they give you like a wristband or something, or
yeah, what they do is they put like a green those little wristbands that kind of stick to themselves, like a nightclub, whatever. They put it on your handle of your cup, green for all weekend, or you can buy a different color for each day. If you're only there one day, just pay $7 for the one day. So yeah, it's washable. Like I wash my cup every night, and the band stayed on. There was no problem whatsoever. So totally worth it. Not long lines to refill. They had 2 different locations in the convention center floor. The longest I ever waited for a refill might have been 5 minutes. And then to the left of the stations for all the soda, there's a person there manning an ice station. So he's got a scooper, fill you up, then go get refilled. It was super cool. I'm glad I bought it years ago. I take it with me to every Denver Comic Con, other events in Colorado or elsewhere. If they're going to show up at frickin' pick your city con, your cup is still good. $7 refill, doesn't matter. Mine specifically says Denver Expo, and it doesn't even matter. I can use it anywhere. So,
do they have lids?
Yeah, they do have.
Oh,
I don't have a lid for mine because mine is a perfect hand. I put mine in the handle, and it's a perfect grip for mine. If it wasn't, I would buy the lid. I say that loosely. I don't know if a lid came with the new ones. I think the $80 one came with the lid, and it's kind of secured lid. The way I saw it, it's almost like a sink where it has that little rubber gasket part, and then the rest of it.
Like it seals. Yeah.
Super cool, super worth it. If I didn't have one and I knew the deal, I would have bought that $80 one because I'm going to get my value. If I go to Boulder Creek,
since I have kids, especially the little one,
Oh, yeah.
That's a good deal all day.
Yep.
I'm not having her walk around without a lid on her soda.
No, absolutely not. You have to have one. The smaller, medium, large, they all different sizes do have lids, lids and straw combo. I saw people. Some people would a family or a couple would buy one and share it. Obviously,
yeah.
A couple would buy one, pour the orange cream into a water bottle, a thermos or whatever, and go back and refill with strawberry cream because the husband didn't want one flavor. So not too many people did that. Most people respected the idea of, try to have a cup for each person. But I mean, I ain't gonna tell anybody, to each their own. There were a couple times where I had Allie there on Friday. It was like, here, I use that orange strawberry example because that's exactly what we did. So I had a cup for her if she wanted it, but I didn't want a full cup. She didn't want a full cup, so it worked out.
Well, that was what I was going to.
It was so popular, they actually ran out, the 2 different booths, they ran out of every flavor by the time we got to today, except for orange cream in one booth, root beer in the other booth. Everything else was used up. It was so popular. So Wild Bill soda people, if you're a conner, if you go to events or whatever, go to their website, go to their Instagram. I have no problem plugging them because it's been good value.
Unsponsored. They're not a sponsor.
Yeah, I was going to say they're not sponsored yet. So totally
are they based out of Denver?
Honestly, I don't even know.
I have no idea.
All I know is my person.
They've had them here at our local cons too. The Amazing Comic Con here. They've been here too.
Well, in that case, I would say if you go back again, totally worth it. Get your cup with the lid. I know it's expensive up front, but trust me, people. When you're at these conventions and they're charging you no less than $5 for a drink, a bottle of a 16 ounce 20 ounce bottle, and it's $5 or $7, and a bottle of water was literally $7. I walked by and overheard some guy ask for it. It's like, hey, how much for a bottle of water? And I heard the vendor say $7. I was like, I am so glad I have my cup. Screw that. Yeah. I will take my cup and go get ice and then go to a water fountain and fill it up before I pay $7 for a bottle of water. But yeah, so I like the fact that, like I said, Boulder Creek Fest 2013 was the first time I got one. And then again, 2014 at Creek Fest. And then now cons. And if I go anywhere, I usually look. It's like, hey, is Wild Bill's going to be there? And on their website, they do have an events calendar, so you can know where they're going to be. And I already did look ahead, so that's why I know they're going to be at San Diego. So yeah, I'll probably bring my cup there as well. Or I'll just add it to my budget and get that new big one, because that $80 one is pretty damn big, and it has the
like
lid.
A Stanley Cup.
So, it's more shaped like the bulbous shape, but yeah. So it's like I was gonna say size wise, like, well, then where's mine? I'd go grab it for you, but I don't know where the hell I put it. I think it's in the sink, soaking from today's travels. But yeah. Anyway, I know long time on Wild Bills, but trust me, people, it's worth it. If you're out there doing something, absolutely worth it. Okay.
On their website, you can get a mug, insulated double barrel mug with the Konami code on it.
Ah, that's funny. And that's a good point. They do have different designs too. I grabbed this purple one because it looked cool. It was pimping.
It was purple.
The other two I have are just base silver. Panels were great. I went to a handful of panels. I won't go through all of them in detail, but the black hole panel was awesome. They had an aerospace engineer in there going over black holes. It was fascinating. Learned a lot. Loved it. Celebrity panels where I did go see Rosario Dawson. I saw Brie Larson, the Clone Wars voice actors. The Boys panel was pretty funny. Dude, Anthony Starr, Homelander, chill, dude. So down to earth. Threw me for a freaking loop. I didn't know he was a New Zealander. When he started talking, I was like, whoa, what the hell? What the hell? Can you bring Homelander out, please? That's who I support. I don't know what this is. It absolutely threw me. But
he has a beard and black hair. This is so weird.
Yeah, for real. When I was in Autograph Hall and I walked by and saw his thing, I was like, oh, his handler here, but he's not. So whatever. I kept on walking. I didn't realize that was him. True story. Kept on walking. But the Boys panel was so good. I enjoyed that one. And I can't remember, but it might have been Brie Larson right after that panel, so I just stayed in the room. Then today was the Clone Wars one with the 4 voice actors. I think it's the only panel today. Oh, the other one. Okay, so all those panels were great. Everybody was great. Loved it all. If they do something on YouTube for FanExpo Denver where they show some of those panels, go check them out. Worth it. Okay, then I took my ass to a woke panel. It was the X-Men, like the social context of X-Men 97, which obviously if you saw the cartoon, you know what they're talking about. And it was this black lady, PhD, doctorate in, oh my God, I have her podcast information because I actually enjoyed it. And it's hard for me to admit that. I went to this woke ass panel and it was great.
And I learned something.
I did learn something.
Who's an ally now?
But they were going over, obviously, social. I don't need to get in. If you saw the show, then you know the social context of what's happening, how things, and how Magneto was right. Well, from a certain point of view, yeah, he probably was. But then he does something stupid like, hey, let's take away the whole magnetic sphere of the freaking planet. It's like, okay, dude, we're on your side. Calm down. You don't have to do. You don't go this far. It's like what do we call it? A Killmonger in Black Panther. It's like, okay, dude, we feel you. Oh, you're gonna kill that old lady? Screw you, dude. We now not on your side. But the panel was cool. It was obvious. It was the black lady, the PhD, and she teaches at a college. I can't remember if she said. I don't think she actually said which one. Nobody asked. And then there was a different gentleman, Victor something. Again, I have their information elsewhere, but He hosts a lot of panels, and I saw him like 3 times over the weekend.
Was he the guy with the orange hat? Because you sent a couple pictures, and he had like not a wide brim hat, but it was a brimmed hat, and was always wearing like bright colors.
Yep, okay. That guy. Yep. He was hosting with this. Matter of fact, as I say that, he had to leave about half hour early because he had to go host the the Sean Gunn panel. So that was pretty funny, but yeah, it was just great listening to other people's questions and their interpretation of how they view the show, whether it be from this black girl's perspective, this little black girl, she's probably not even 18, maybe 18, her perspective, and then some white dude in the back and his perspective, and just everybody's different perspective on the show and how it relates to the current world events, even whether it be political or whether it be like in the LGBTQ, that community. It was, especially with Roberto. Was Roberto? Was that his name? Sunspot.
Roberto. Yeah.
Roberto. His story and how that, and then you've got how is it different because it's a rich 1% family that's whatever they're Brazilian or whatever they are. I can't remember.
Something like that. Yeah.
Brazilian. It's Colombian or whatever they are. So I can't. It's hard to explain and put into words that panel, but the gist of it was the perspectives that everybody else has. And it's like there was some. I made a comment. There was some gas, but I was like, the comment I like to say the most, right? I can never give offense. You can only take offense. So if you're getting butthurt over some shit, that's on you. Choose to take it differently. I've heard a lot of shit over my days, especially 4 years in Texas, black-white issues, 3 years in New Jersey, black Italian issues. And it's like, say what you want, dude. I don't care. I mean, I have to take it offensively for it to be a problem. And then their pushback on that was intent. And then that's what made me think. True. I'm like, okay, I totally get that. If you're trying to be offensive, or trying to manipulate somebody else, by being offensive, okay, I suppose you could argue that you're given offense, and I wouldn't call that still. I would call it manipulation. It's probably the same thing when all said and done, if we really had a debate about it. But I've always been in the mindset of I can never give offense. You can only take offense. It's like, oh, I take offense to that. Why? Why do you take offense to that? Just either move on or just understand what's going on. So overall,
because I know it's going to make you mad.
If you say it,
I can drop an N-bomb on you, and 2 different ways I can drop an N-bomb on you. One, you're going to hit me. One, you're going to be like, okay, cool.
Right, that's exactly it. And that's where I was saying I learned something out of that, was that intent, because I look at it as nobody is intending to be offensive, because I don't see intent on offense. I see that something else. If I'm trying to push your buttons, to me, that's just basic manipulation. I don't define that as giving offense. Even though the intent is to piss you off, the intent, to me, the word is not offensive. I'm going to see if I can offend this person. To me, it's not, I don't look at it that way. It's like, I'm going to see if I can piss this person off. I'm going to see if I can push these buttons. It's just that some people consider that to be giving offense. I don't, but I have to understand that other people do. And that's where it was like, I never really thought about it that way, because I don't define it that way. Well, most people or other people do define it that way. And I have to appreciate that too.
Well, and I think too, it depends on what buttons you're pushing, right? Are you pushing buttons that are specific to that person, or are you pushing buttons that are more broad, right? Are your buttons that you're pushing more kind of like, oh, I'm pushing my stereotype of what I think about you on you, right? Like, then that's giving to me, I would say that would be like an example of giving offense, right? Like making somebody feel less than you, right? It's a power thing, right? Like you were saying with the manipulation, like I'm trying to belittle you and make you feel lesser than me. That to me is where the giving offense comes into play, because it's one thing when we have a conversation and you say, oh, I see this about you personally, and we need to have a conversation about this aspect of your personality or your habit or whatever. but it's another thing when you're just like Jack was saying earlier, like the two different ways that you can, and again, we're in the context of this, the two different ways that you can use the N-word. The N-word can be used in multiple ways, but in this case, there's two different ways that you're going to take it. And one of them could be that I'm trying to exert some sort of power or control over you by making you feel lesser than me, and that's where I think the giving offense comes in.
Steve, no, and that's where my education comes in, because I see what you're saying. I just don't agree with it. Like, right. What I mean is, I understand exactly what you're saying. I just don't define that phrase as giving an offense.
Right.
I define it as manipulation or pushing buttons or whatever. It's the exact same thing. We're talking about the exact same thing. Yeah. It's just the semantics of it all. And that's what I had to learn today. It was like, because I'm like, no, because you know how black and white, you guys know how black and white I am with a lot of shit. So it's
mostly white, but a little black, but yeah.
A little, just a bit. But the way you worded that makes perfect sense to me. I was like, oh, I totally get that. I wouldn't call that giving offense, but I know exactly what you're talking about. And now I will now understand in that context that somebody else will call that giving offense, and I'll know what they mean. It's like, oh,
right.
Yeah, okay, got it. Like, but for me, it's like, I don't take offense to a lot of stuff. It's like, I've been walking down, Boulder, the main street's called Pearl Street out here. And I'm walking down and somebody on a bike yelling, F you in person. And I'm just like, okay. And I just keep minding my business.
Like, who's he talking about?
That guy.
Is there a black person on the street? What's going on right now?
This is Boulder. There ain't no black people unless it's freaking football season. So it's like, this was February. So no, they ain't here. But I was walking with a coworker. This is a long time ago. With my white coworker, and she's all butthurt and offended for me, which y'all know I hate. You can't be offended for somebody else.
You can't be offended for other people.
Yeah. So she was like, "Oh my God, are you okay? Are you fine?" Like, I'm like,
"Yeah, you need to go to your safe place."
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm like, oh, really, Jack? Now,
I wouldn't say that though. I would say on his horse card, he's now WO. So if we're playing horse, now Lou is WO. He still's got to get the KE.
We haven't got the KE yet. We haven't earned that. There's only one panel. If I go to one of these in San Diego, y'all, I mean...
They just announced the panels this morning, right? I think I saw that.
That's next week.
They have
random ones announced.
Yeah, they announced some of the panels, right? I think I saw the headline this morning.
Over the last week, they've announced the ones that they know about. And then the schedule reveal comes out Thursday. I think it starts Thursday.
Yeah. They're announcing the panels that they're safe, that the people won't cancel at the last minute. They're like, okay.
Probably. Like, we know you're going to be here, so we're not going to upset somebody if we have to pull you later.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, if I end up at one of these BIPOC in comics type panels, dude, just drag my ass out there. Yeah. You know what? Because of you, Black Lightning. All you had to do was not say that crap, and I would have watched your show. But no, got on my nerves. Speaking of which, kind of a good segue to that. Didn't somebody call us racist recently? One of our folks. Hey, if you're watching, I'm gonna say, go ahead.
So I've started making shorts because the TikTok generation, they don't have very long time attention spans, right? So I put one up about it wasn't even an important conversation last week, but it was funny because it was the presidential debate about them talking about their golf scores. This dude said we were racist. I'm like, or no, he just said racist was his only comment on there. So I asked him, like, who, us or the old guys we're talking about? And he said, both of y'all. I'm like, dang, okay then. I did reply back to him. I'm like, there's literally a black dude on the screen. We cannot be racist.
When I saw that, I don't remember if it was in the group chat or not, but I was like, people confuse racist and prejudice all the time, and it's annoying to me. It is so freaking annoying. Okay, people, just so y'all know, racist. If you're making decisions on somebody or not making decisions on somebody because of their race, that is racist. But to sit here, Lou doing white people shit, or Jack doing white people shit, or black people shit, or whatever, that is not racist. There's a difference. Prejudice. Let me give you an example here, people. Prejudice. If you are not prejudiced, I question your intelligence, because that is based off of your experience, things you've learned. It's kind of like assumption versus presumption. Don't ever assume, but presume all you want. The difference is presumption comes with knowledge. You knew something a little bit about the situation, so you made a presumption because you had information on the topic. If you know nothing, then you're assuming. That's the difference. Same thing here. If you got a black person, a white person, a Mexican person, and the choices of drink are Coke or chata and grape soda, your experience and your prejudice should tell you the black person's going for the grape soda, the white person's going for the Coke, and the Mexican person's going for horchata. That could be wrong. Absolutely wrong in that scenario. There's nothing wrong with that. However,
is it Mexican Coke or is it regular Coke?
That's a good point. It's regular Coke.
Okay, so thank you. Please continue.
That's a very good point. So your experience of what you've seen, your life history, like I can tell you right now, my experience, 80% of the time, it's going to be the way I laid it out. But there's obviously the other 20% where it doesn't fit. But these prejudices are because you've experienced things. The problem, now people are like, oh, prejudice is a bad thing. No, it's not. Now, acting on the prejudice, that is where there's a problem. You see somebody walk in and they look like, quote unquote, they ghetto, they got the grill in, they got whatever. And you're like, yeah, I'm at Dillard's right now and I'm not about to help this person because they ain't got no money or whatever the case may be because they look raggedy or hood, whatever. Now, have your prejudice. You see them, you have your thought, fine. Then move on. They give that person a chance to prove themselves or not prove themselves, however words, phrase you want to use it. When I look at somebody, I immediately have a reaction. I am judging the hell out of everybody, but I am not holding that judgment against you. I will give you it. I don't care who you are. You will always get a chance to prove yourself or not. Again, however you want to look at it. Some people are like, I don't got to prove myself to you at all. You're right. You don't. But if we're going to be friends, you do. I mean, if we're going to have an interaction where you're going to have to prove yourself to me, just like I need to prove myself to you. If I'm an asshole to you, do you want to hang out with me? It goes both ways. And there's nothing wrong with that. People get so freaking butthurt over that shit. It's like, I'm not being friends with that person. Well, why not? Because of fill in the blank. And it's like, yeah, do you know this person? Have you actually chatted with them? How many times have y'all been at work, new job, and somebody comes up to you and says, oh, this person's this and this person's that, and I want to talk to this person. I'm like, okay, thank you for the info. And then I throw it all out the window and I'll make my own opinion. Thank you. Yep. Same thing with the prejudices, right? Your experience has given you the opportunity to form an opinion before you even talk to this person. And then you need to throw that off to the side and go actually meet the person to get a real view of what they are. So, but prejudice, racist, two different things. Do not confuse the two. Learn the difference, just like assume and presume. Learn the difference, people. So, soapbox over. That was my thing.
Well, I think to go along those lines real quick, I think what has happened, especially in just kind of our general society, is that we've become they've lowered the base of defining so many groups of people, right? So you look at the homeless people, houseless people, right? Like there is an overriding, especially living here in Portland, there's an overriding thing where, I mean, so over the 4th of July, I, did several kind of activities related to 4th of July, and then just kind of because the quote unquote long weekend. And there were people there were a bunch of people who were visiting Portland, and they were like, oh my God, this place is amazing. And you're like, yeah. And they're like, well, on the news, though, it says it's basically a burning dumpster fire. And it's like, oh, it's because we have a houseless problem, but we can't solve the houseless problem because there's all these other, it's a layered problem, right? It's not a simple problem and it's not a simple solution because there's many aspects of, what's that?
Like an onion.
Like an onion, exactly. Well, again, I mean, and you can't apply the same solution to every single person who doesn't have who is living on the street right now, because they all have different problems. They all need different support. Yep. You can broaden it a little bit, and you can say, okay, well, these are people who have drug problems. Okay, well, that's a percentage. It's not 100%, but if you watch the news, you would assume that every single person that you pass on the street has some sort of massive drug problem, and you're like, That's not the case. Like, so people come here, they go, oh my gosh, you guys, I thought you guys were just a bunch of Antifa, homeless people. And we're like, no, we're normal like you. And guess what? Everybody, everywhere else that I've traveled in the last year or two, I see homeless people on the streets there too. It's not a problem that's like focused on us, but for whatever reason, we've been labeled as such. But then you have the people who are like, all the problem are the people coming from Mexico. Well, you can't say that because there's different layers to that too. There's different people coming across the borders, both Canada and Mexico, and they all have their own story and their own thing. So just assuming and painting them all with the same thing, that they're all crime lords and they're all rapists and they're all whatever, it makes it hard. Going back to Lou's point, like, it makes it a lot easier for people to be racist because that's kind of the generalization that the society is giving you, right? The news, the internet, all of social media, all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, don't disagree with you at all, Lou. Thank you very much you were very eloquent in your speaking, but I think that's a symptom of it, is that we're day to day, we're kind of lowering everybody, right? We're lowering any group of people that we think, is that we can, right? To make us feel better, right? That we're like, oh yeah, I'm way better than that person because he doesn't have a house. Really? Like, that's not fair to you or him, So
yeah, one of the things with that panel, actually, I wish I remember the phrase, but it was maybe it was called like trauma education, to learn other people's, like, you don't know what they went through. Mm-hmm. So it's like you know what? I don't know if I can give this example just because it's not necessarily my story to tell, but the generic version is this. I grew up very, very different. My parents just hit their 50th anniversary last Saturday.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Mom and Dad, if you're watching this. Well, Dad, my mom was watching this.
Mom was out.
Yeah, I was going to say, but it's one of these things where I grew up, both my parents, not a lot of money, growing up, a young parent, 2 kids. It was a little bit different. My what I was taught and responsibilities I was taught, different than my other friends. And what they, especially the single, like the single mom raising some of my friends, whatever, and money situations where they get money, they spend money because they're not used to any kind of savings. They don't know what that's about. It's, I have this money, my next pay, the whole living to paycheck to paycheck. It's not because they have to live paycheck to paycheck. It's just that, as far as they know, they're supposed to spend what they have until they get the next paycheck. They don't have that process of, oh, I want to do stuff in the future and I want to do all these other things. It's like, no, I don't have time to worry about the future. I need to worry about the right now, because in my life, I was living on a day-to-day. I grew up with this poor situation where I only had this. So I'm still trying to learn this process with people in my circle. They just didn't grow up the way I did. And I have to appreciate and understand that they're going to do it this way. And if they want help because they want to plan something in the future or whatever, I will work with them and help them with that. But I also have to understand that doesn't make them any less than me. It just makes them different than me. And there's nothing wrong with that. And it took me a long time to get to that, because again, I absolutely lived in my little bubble being a military kid, and my friend circle, it is very tight. So I don't see a lot of I'm like, what are you talking about? That's a thing. There's a lot of times that I catch myself like just hearing something and like, I didn't know that was a thing, because I'm just ignorant to those things, those problems or issues, good or bad. I just didn't know. It's like, oh, that's cool. Didn't know that was a thing. Oh, well, that's horrible. Didn't know that was a thing. There's a lot of that in my world because I just never saw that perspective, because again, military kid, we're basically all the same. We all went through the same stuff. We're all making new friends every 3 years. Everything's the same. So it's just, even though I'm removed, 25 years removed from that life, it's still impressed on me. So
impregnated? You're pregnant?
Yep, it's impregnated on me. It's like, wow, hey, this is 2024. I'm a man. I can get pregnant now.
I need to see a tampon commercial with men.
I'm sure I could swear it's out there because there was some trans person that I think was doing commercials for that industry. I'll tell you what's interesting. Just because it's kind of on topic with the tampon thing, women actually started losing their shit with Bidenomics because Tampax or whatever, they've shrunk their tampons. Like what used to be a regular is like not enough anymore, and they changed the size. So women were complaining to their doctors. I saw some news article, it was probably a couple days ago, maybe Wednesday or whatever. But they were complaining to their doctors that they thought that they had a problem because they thought they were bleeding too much. But it was the fact that their size of tampon shrunk. So when they thought they were like, oh, I'm just a regular, I don't need a super or whatever. I just need a regular. And they put on a regular, but it wasn't doing the job of a regular because they had shrunk the tampons. And freaking economics, man. It's like, and they always same price. It's like the Big Mac, right? Big Mac was $4 for this. Now it's $4 for this. And
well, that's
ding dongs, Hostess ding dongs. Last year, my dad pointed that out to me. It was like, hey, go grab a ding dong for the fridge. And I'm like, where is it? It was this little tiny. I'm like, no. First of all, bring the foil back. Second of all, put the size right. And if you're going to drop the size, drop the price. But no, they're taking advantage of folks. Like the toiletries, 32 ounces for this. Well, now it's 30 ounces for the same price. So companies are getting
chips are.
I still charge the same for my ding dong. It's the same size.
Yeah,
but he doesn't wrap his in foil anymore.
I was going to say nah.
That's
I like wrapping the foil off. That's the best part.
He realized after the second.
People complain about their feelings after they put it in their mouth. That shit hurts.
I thought it was after the second kid, and you realized that the foil didn't work like like your dad taught you. But
yeah, I've seen foil and saran wrap a lot.
Oh man, let it breathe. Let it breathe.
I've seen a ton of articles in the last 4 or 5 years about the chips being like chips are the easiest because you can grab a bag of chips from 3 years ago and you can grab a bag of chips from today. And number one, they're way more expensive. And number two, they're smaller, like Ruffles and stuff like that. Because what they'll also do is the bags will be the same size, but they'll put less in them because they put the air in them. Yeah. So it used to be, I'll say 35 ounces, and now it's 31 ounces. But they're saving millions of dollars a year because now they can take that 3 ounces of chips and put it in another bag.
Every 8 bags is a free bag for them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah.
Yeah, it's wild.
Well, you're getting less fat. Wild. They're doing you a favor.
Shit, all the walking I did this weekend, man, I ain't. Oh man, Lord have mercy. And that's only a portion of what it's going to be in 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Denver is not. I mean, Denver doesn't have the first of all, the long, big old convention center, plus the hotel to the left, the 2 to the right, and all the outdoor stuff. So Denver, I walked a lot. Most of it was dropping stuff off at the car and back. But even then, it's a half mile total because you have to leave the convention center at the wrong end of where my parking is. It was like, if I could have exited over here to this other side, it takes you right down. Literally, because year one, you could do this. It was like 30 feet. The exit from the convention center, 30 feet is the entrance to the parking garage to get to the elevator.
Wow.
And now you have to walk around the entire thing to do it. Now, a little bit doesn't matter all that much because whether I walk it in the convention center or walk it out of it, I still have to walk it, right? So it's not that crazy. And when I convince myself of that, I feel better about it. But still, it's the inconvenience factor. I'd rather be, me, man, I'd rather be indoors. I don't want the sun or any kind of nature touching me any more than it has to. So, yeah. Yeah, that's me rambling. There'll be a whole episode of Lou rambling.
Right?
How Lou became whoa. Not woke.
Exactly.
Whoa. What'd you guys think of Acolyte this week?
That boring ass show. Let's see. This past episode, 32 minutes of TV, 5 minutes of value. That's why I look at it.
Well, and again, go ahead, Jack. Sorry.
I agree with that article I sent you guys. They're making these movies and they're giving us DVD chapters. Mm-hmm. You would not have a problem with anything in this episode if it was taken as a whole movie. It's the quiet part of the movie between the action scenes.
Yep.
So
yeah, I probably agree with that.
It was okay though. So I mean, from what they gave us, it was more about Manny Jacinto and his character. So that kind of part of.
Did you guys watch my space ice video?
Yes.
Force push.
Oh, dude, that was good. That was pretty good.
They were looking for the guy who loves Blake Bortles, which is probably also not a real name. Tonight we're going to talk about the blockbuster movie, The Acolyte.
And at this point, here's the thing. At this point, I've kind of lost interest. They've dragged out the real story, or at least soul story of his version of it, his perspective. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't care. You've been saying you're going to tell this story since episode 4. And we're about to hit episode 7. It's like, okay, seriously? I'm not going to say I don't care anymore, but I had to be reminded that this past Tuesday, there was even an episode. I was like, oh yeah, I guess I should probably go watch that. I actually kind of spaced it. I went to go see Inside Out too. I mean, seriously, which was a great movie. So it's like, okay, we're going to do this and we're going to tell you this story and then fade to black. I'm like, okay, so what? Now we're going to go through this crap again? Or are we actually going to get the story the way episode 2 was just the backstory? Is episode 7 going to be just the backstory? We're going to skip all the current times and then they'll wrap it up in episode 8. But I'm just sitting here like watching this and like, man, do I even care? Like, I guess I'm curious what the quote unquote real story is or whatever, or what all the drama is, why these 4 Jedi are feeling guilty. But they kind of lost it. It's like, is the story, first of all, it's the Acolyte. Is the story about the Sith and what's happening with them and the actual Acolyte? Or is the story about the girls, the sisters? Or is the story about the Jedi? It's like, can you focus on something and let the other bits help support it instead of, we don't know what we're going to do. It's just like, I know a lot of people talked about this last week or the week before, whatever the big Jedi fight was the week before. And you've got May. I'm turning myself in. Now I'm fighting you. I'm turning myself. I'm fighting you. I care about you. Pick a lane. Like, if you were going to turn yourself in, why did, when Jackie showed up to arrest you, you're just not like, okay, arrest me. We'll figure out the truth afterwards. But no, we're going to change. Oh my God. It's like, again, pick a damn lane. These characters are just ridiculous. So
yeah, the changing motivations is frustrating.
Yeah, especially without any kind of reason. Like, give us. It's like you literally were going to go turn yourself in to the Wookiee Jedi, and okay, he's dead. Does that prevent you from turning yourself into the other Jedi? Apparently, it does, because you're fighting Jackie now.
Because now her master's there, and now she's all scur. So she's just going to fight everybody and escape.
You would think she would take their side to help fight him. If she was going to turn herself in, and you know what I mean? It's like,
but she knew how much of a badass he was, and they cut him all down in like 2 seconds.
But we don't have any context for that, though. We don't have any context for, outside of the lightsaber fight, how much of a badass he is, right? Like, to me, that was the other part, is like, I appreciated the fight for what it was, right? The fight was cool. Everything around the fight was frustrating.
Yep.
So the first fight in the first episode, the wire work and everything, and with Trinity, the fight itself was cool. the context around it was frustrating. I think that's what a lot of it is if there's not some sort of action piece happening, it's just turning out to be a very frustrating show, because you open the show with May switching places with Osha for some reason that's not really explained. And again, the wishy-washy motivations make it hard to know what is actually going on. Halfway through the episode, Saul goes, "Oh shit, Rodent guy said you're not Osha, you're right. I'm going to fucking tie you down to a chair and then I'm going to speak truth to you." And then on the other side, you have, sex Star Wars going on, where, you have Jason Mendoza trying to seduce Osha, which again, that's, seducing her to the dark side. I get that part. But, his conversations with her, to me, have been some of, as far as the dialogue and the writing goes, have been some of the most enjoyable parts of the show to me.
Oh, for sure.
But again, the context around it and how we got to this point has been very frustrating. Like I said last week,
most of Kamir's dialogue, even the fight scene when he was chatting with Soul, and then again with Osha, I agree with you. His writing has been good in that sense.
Well, because it's very simple and it's very direct, and all of his motivations make sense to you. Like when you listen to him talk about just wanting to do his own thing. Who in the fuck doesn't want to just do their own thing? I 100% get that, but it's the context or it's the motivations of all the characters around him that I think are muddied. And so it makes it frustrating because, like you were saying, I'm going to give myself up. I'm not. I am. I'm not. I don't know. Maybe let's just switch people. Maybe he won't know. Like, I'm going to get the knife out, but I'm going to put it away and go fix the ship that somehow broke down when, type of thing. Like, it's, like when she walked up behind him on the ship with the knife out, and then the power goes down, and he goes, "Oh, you should go fix that." And she was like, "You're right,
yes,
I should."
Yes, I should.
And I was like, wait, there's no power on the ship. Like, this is your fucking chance. Like, why did you get the knife out if you weren't going to use it? Like, that's to me is probably the most frustrating part is
like, why I thought the same thing. I'm like, okay, then you've had the opportunity to kill this dude. I mean, what the hell? And then to what? Use we're gonna factory reset Pip? Are you kidding me with that crap?
We're gonna C-3PO him.
Yeah,
well, and how did a factory reset make him bad? I get with Lola and Obi-Wan that they
hacked it.
Yeah, they hacked it. But how do you hack it by pushing two buttons? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, oh, I know on my computer how to reboot it and make it evil by hitting this button and this button. Come on.
I think
make it evil. It's just factory reset him.
I think what they meant to show was that it wasn't the same Pip from before. Right. I don't think there was an evil quality to it. It would have been better if they didn't use the red. If they would have picked a different color.
But that's my point. That's my point. You've already established through canon that if the robot has red eyes, that it is a negative thing that the red eyes are bad. Make the eyes purple or bright yellow or something to just be like, okay, your factory reset and you're good to go. Like,
you're green, just something not red. Just not red is all it could be. And then it's like, then you've got the little beaver dude who seems to have an idea that that's not Osha. Do they not have written language in the Star Wars universe where he could just, hey, no, not, and do it all Arabic if you want. Not Osha. It's May. Saul, read this shit. I mean, how hard is that? And he doesn't even go try to talk to him about her. It was like, what the hell, man?
Again, he doesn't know how they have a different written language. They don't even understand him. Only Yord understood him.
Yeah. And Yord.
Yeah. Yord can look down and see
there's ways you can charade the shit out of that. There's ways to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and the fact that they didn't even bother is just, again, so much stupid in this show. Although you see the jokes going on with Leslie Headland, Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant, who chose not to testify against him, by the way. She, in earlier interviews, what she said was, write what you know. So then you see Kamir and Osha about to do fucking porn wars instead of Star Wars. And it's like, Leslie Headland, write what you know. I guess those years with Harvey Weinstein kind of helped you write this scene. That was some of the jokes going on.
You handled my lightsaber well.
Right?
It feels good in your hand, doesn't it?
And then to see, dude, and I don't know about y'all, but when I watched the episode live, I caught her live checking down, looking up.
Yep.
I didn't need a meme for that. I saw that. I was like, oh, she just straight peeked.
Yep.
I mean, man.
To be fair, it is Jason Mendoza. I would have peeked too. Just saying.
I mean, dude's built kind of nice. These women who are fucking dropping their draws right now. Look, more power to you. Dude got in shape for this role. No reason why you can't ogle him the way I ogled Padme when in episode 2. So.
Yeah. I'm just afraid that they're going to do some sort of weird swerve with like Vanestra all of a sudden becoming evil, always being evil, but
always being. It seems like
right. Like, and to me, I'm like, So now you have a character again. You eliminate the other 3 characters that were the kind of the main driver of the story, right? Through the first 3 episodes, you have these 4 Jedi who did something malevolent or wrong or fucked something up or made a bad choice, right? And by the end of the 4th episode, you've now killed 3 of them. And you're like, okay, well, so now we got to just ride or die with this one through the end of it. And then all of a sudden you have like Vanessa show up and be like, oh, I got to go on this cruise. I have to go on this rescue mission with you guys. And you're like, wait, you've been disinterested in everything that's gone on so far outside of one conversation with Saul. And now all of a sudden you're like, oh, I got to get involved in this, which to me means that she's going to have a lot bigger part in the story of what happened.
Maybe
because now all of a sudden they're pushing her on us.
Yeah, are they going to make her Plagueis or Tenebris instead of whatever it was?
Because their species are already like canon. So
I mean, but wait, are they canon?
Mm-hmm. They've been in comic books.
Okay, all right. I was going to say I don't remember seeing anything where they're okay. So then it can't be her, but one of them's got to show up. Because I mean,
he could just be a Knight of Ren. He could be the start of Ren.
Yeah, but the interviews from a couple of weeks ago, Leslie did say there are going to be 2 Sith in the show.
Well, and also none of the Knights of Ren had lightsabers. So you think Jason Mendoza is just going to give up his lightsaber?
Yeah, did they? They had lightsabers.
Okay, I thought they all just had like the battle axes and stuff like that.
Melee weapons.
When Kylo joined them, Ren at that time did have a lightsaber.
So I have a feeling that it'll play out.
Books.
Everybody's going to die, obviously, because you can't have Ki-Adi Mundi knowing anything about this. So everybody's got to die, including Vanestra. But I think it's going to end with Kamir and his master, and it's going to be Tenebris or Plagueis.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure which. But if they're telling us there's going to be a second Sith, I don't think it's Vanestra. I think everybody dies, and then we cut to because at the end of the day, right? This whole Acolyte thing is supposed to be a Sith story that we're not getting. Somebody screwed that up in the title, but or at least in the description they screwed it up where this is not a Sith story. People, you're telling multiple stories at once, and you're fucking it all up. But it's got to whether it be the end credit scene or the last scene of the actual episode. I guess a week from Tuesday. It's just a matter at this point of which one of them it's going to be, because I'm sure you guys saw the rumors online where the island they're on is that Balneca, whatever. So I can't remember the name of it, but that's in Canon Island, not Octo. Yeah. It's actually that was it the Plagueis Island or the Tenebris Island?
Yeah. But it also wouldn't surprise me if they combined them and made them both Octo. Like they got rid of that other planet. Because again, they said it was an unknown planet. I feel like if it was a planet that wasn't something that... my 2 cents on it. But my point is that they're hiding what the planet name is because there's a reason for that. Right? They could say
Or it
unknown
actually
planet,
is
but
unknown. It could actually be unknown.
well, but that would be one thing. But if you're going to put it as something in canon, right? Like, which again, they kind of have to do now because it has the cortosis and that type of thing. So they have to have something around it. It's not just going to be unknown planet. Like, it's going to get a name. So,
Well, it should.
And they already established that
Balcutta, whatever it's called.
But they already established
that was an island or a planet that had cortosis as a mineral there. So.
But they could also just combine. I mean, again, for simplification sakes, they could also just combine that with Octo and that he's in a different part. We've already established that Octo has a dark and a light side, like presence, right? Like it's
it's Hatfield and McCoy's on different islands.
Yeah, right. He's just on the other side of the world. And I'm not saying that's right or makes sense or is good, but the stuff that
at this point it does.
But if that's the case, why would it be unknown planet? I mean, Octo had a name.
But I think they're doing it's obfuscation, right? They're the box of mysteries, right? It's the mystery box. Every single episode throughout all the series, we've had these like, oh, we're gonna have this. Oh, this is this. Oh, look, Cameron's this. Oh, like we talked about that, how they haven't been stretching out the mysteries either too long or too short. Like, again, we had a half an episode of May switching spots with Osha before everybody knows who everybody is, right? There's no... So I feel like they're doing that. They're obscuring it for the sake of obscuring it, right? Because if they just said Octo, then people would already have an assumption about that planet. So by saying unknown planet, like, they can save that mystery for later when you're just going to go, oh, okay, whatever. To me, if it was a planet that didn't already have established canon, they would have just named it. Like, because they've done that with every other planet in Star Wars. They've never had an unknown. They've had unknown colony on X planet, sure, but they've never had just unknown planet. Nobody knows this. And guess what? In the sequels, Octo was an unknown planet because that part of the galaxy was in R2 for whatever. And that was something that I think I watched a short on YouTube, and they were talking about how that section of the star map was something that had been lost a long time, or maybe that was even in the sequels. It was something that had been lost for a long time. This wasn't something new. So maybe they're establishing it as unknown planet because at the time nobody knew what it was. But
well, that's why Poe had to get it from Morse and Tekka, though, because in the High Republic, that family is mapping all the hyperspace lanes. That's what their family has done forever.
But if Poe had to get it from him, then
exactly, it's probably in his family archives,
right? But maybe it's something. It's maybe something they hadn't shared with the wider audience, right?
Exactly.
So maybe they're putting in the context of unknown planet because at the time it was part of that segment of the star map that nobody knew about. So, I mean, we'll find out. I'm sure we'll be disappointed. It'll be fine.
I'm sure we will be. I mean, that's the one thing I can expect.
We've actually spent more time talking about it than they probably did writing about it.
That applies to Dick Gaming about that show.
Maybe Skeleton Crew will be
not
good.
A good show. What's that?
Maybe Skeleton Crew will be good. It does have Jude Law in it.
And Rogue Squadron's back in the books, right? Like they got Patty. I thought they got Patty.
I heard something that they brought that back too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, fine. They need to bring back New Republic, and Gina needs to win her lawsuit, especially after what Mark just sent this week. Ruffalo and the hypocrite that Disney is. Jesus Christ. That's a story.
All right, I'm taking your O away, Lou. You're back to just a W.
Again, you know how I hate the hypocrisy, y'all.
Yeah,
and Mark to do his Nazi reference again, and Disney not say anything about it, but Gina does hers and she's fired. I mean, F you, Disney. F you.
I guess I missed that, so I'll have to.
Look that up. We're an hour and 25 in, so we'll maybe come back to it next week. But that's something. Yeah, look it up. Just look at the hypocrisy. You know Gina's lawsuit, right?
Yeah.
Being fired for the BS that she did, and then to have Mark Hamill and now Mark Ruffalo say some similar type stuff and post some similar type stuff, and nothing happened to them. The she's basic. Mark Ruffalo / Disney this week proved her case. They proved her point that she's like, I lean right, so I get fired. They lean left, so they don't. We're basically putting up the same shit. It was like, wow. So hopefully the judge lets the case go
star
forward.
Power too. Gina Carano ain't nobody.
Oh, no argument.
So
no
Mark
argument
Ruffalo
there. Yeah.
is,
And Mark Hamill.
but
so.
and both of them do have an established history of definitely leaning into the political arena. Like neither of them have shied away from that type of stuff in the past. So again, I'll have to look into it and find out specifically what happened. But I know as far as Mark Ruffalo goes, that I know that I've seen things that he's posted in the past. But
you can't say it. He's posting Nazi shit.
Yeah.
He said history is repeating itself.
The same thing Gina said about neighbors on neighbor crime. She was like, don't rat out your neighbors for the COVID or non-COVID type people. And Mark basically came out and said something similarly. And again, no anything to Mark, but Gina gets fired. So
real
the hypocrisy. That's all I'm saying.
Real quick, The Boys.
Oh, I did not watch this last episode.
Okay, so we'll have we can save that for next week then. But Jack, what do you think? Just real quick, like,
I liked it. It was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
Always. Is this the second to last episode for The Boys? For the season?
No, they're on the same schedule as Acolyte, so they're both over the same week.
I think they both have 2 episodes left.
Yeah.
After this, they have. Okay, so they're still.
Yeah. We're on episode. We're on episode.
This one, I got 2 to go.
Yeah, we're on episode 6 of both. Or episode 7 will be next week. But yeah.
Okay. All right.
So, and then we'll have to find something else to watch, I guess, because there won't be shit on after that.
Well, House of the Dragon.
Okay.
And I'm not watching freaking Lord of the Rings bullshit. So y'all have fun.
Something of power or something.
Yeah.
Well, it's not about. She's not in it this season. She's not the main character.
She's not in it.
Yeah, she's like demoted. Like they have a new main character this season.
Are you sure? Because the trailers they showed at Denver Comic Expo, she was all about it. Ready yourselves, and the 5 were about to fight.
But yeah, no, they have a new main character from this Malderon, some dude. So you can't complain about it because
it's still shitty.
No, it's man-led, so it can't be bad. It's only bad if
the writing is still be bad. The Witcher is man-led, and the last 2 seasons when they went woke, it's garbage now, and it's still man-led. For some people would argue that it's the little girl who's leading the show now, which is why it sucks. We're going to have this show called The Witcher with Henry Cavill, but not really focus on The Witcher. Okay, great. Now you lost all your people. Good job. And they don't think they're going to get to season 5 because it fell off that badly.
So I think what we've established is whatever you name your show, make sure it revolves around the character in the show, or else Lou will not like the show.
Yeah, right. I hate that crap. I hate that crap, man. What is this show? It's the Acolyte. What's it about? Fishing. Oh, great. That's fantastic.
I did read something.
I'm going to the movie theater. I'm going to watch Superman, and it's a show about Aquaman. I mean, that makes no sense to me. I mean, what are you doing?
Real quick on the Octo argument, I did read something online that said that the little creatures that are in the episode are related to the one that Luke drinks the milk out of. So that was one of their arguments for Octo was like, but then again, we don't got porgs on on the Acolyte.
Yeah,
so,
there's no porgs, so nope.
Yeah,
we're out.
Yeah,
there's no porgs or that creature or the maidens that lived on the island. I mean, are you trying to tell me
the caretakers?
Yeah, they only lived there during Luke's time. Get out of here.
The best characters in Last Jedi.
DJ.
I mean,
no, that was the caretakers, man. They should have just made a whole movie about the caretakers. every single thing Ray fucks up, and they're just like.
I mean, if they could make a TV show with frickin' Agatha, then they could probably do a TV show with those caretakers. Hey,
I think
that's irrelevant.
I don't think we would have gotten an Agatha show if they hadn't already shot it. Like, I think the Marvel stuff is going to get a giant reset here soon.
Ironheart, you think that's going to get released?
No, I don't know. 100% not.
That's been done for 2 years.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like or they'll dump it. Right, it'll be a. I feel like at this point they're going to reset the MCU at some soon. Right, there's going to be something where they're going to reset everything, going to bring back Robert Downey Jr. and they're going to have. It's going to become classics or legends, the MCU legends, and then the real canon.
No. They don't have to. With the multiverse, they don't have to reset.
But I'm saying, I guess
move to a different universe.
That's what I'm saying. They'll reset to a different universe. They'll get out of. Okay. I guess that's what I mean by reset is that they'll focus on a different universe now that doesn't have all this stuff that happened in the
probably the one that Marvel's ended at with the X-Men with Beast at the end.
Yeah,
they'll probably reset to that universe.
Well, and that'll probably be the Secret Wars thing. Is that the worlds are colliding? Yeah. The one that loses will be the one that we've been living in for the last 25 years. And this new one will be
a great way to reset it. Yeah. Let's be real.
But I think I feel like
the writers.
But
only if you reset the writers.
Oh man, if only.
But I'm saying that's how you get out of your Kang problem, because if you're in a different universe, you change just enough that now you can still have Kang and it doesn't have to be Jonathan Majors anymore. As an example.
Yeah,
it can be Lou.
Yeah, we'll make Lou Kang.
Whoa,
Kang Lou.
Lou Kang? Wait, hold on.
You won't have any kind of woke shit.
I'm trying to figure out how to make the Great Conqueror into the Great Conqueror the Great Conqueror. All right, we got to go. It's a fucking hour and a half.
Oh, we're done. Right. It's like 90 minutes. We're starting to go really now.
Uncle Lou telling stories. That's the name of this podcast. Thanks for listening, all 7 or 8 of you.
Woo! Unless it's a short, we think all 1.9 thousand.
I was just really excited that 1.9K had seen the Star Wars trivia. I'm like, oh shit, we just need to start doing Star Wars trivia every week and we'll be good.
Man, let these people realize we'll give away whoever gets first one to submit their answers or whatever, give away a pop or something.
Yeah.
I got a bunch I'm sitting here looking at extra 130 Star Wars pops. We got 2 years, 3 years of gifts I can give out once a week.
There we go. You got to pay shipping though. Sorry, our budget doesn't allow us to do free shipping.
I'll cover the shipping. They got to cover the handling. That's where
There we go. Had to end on Lou next week. Had to end on Lou talking about his lightsaber again.
Oh yeah, it's all about the handling.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.